there, it's Jeannie, Blaha with TakeAWalkWithYourAngelsAndJoyFlames.com. This is a great question. How can I help somebody that I'm really concerned about, but I'm not nearby? I'm not within a physical distance that I can actually just go over and help them. And I want to share a little story that happened a few years back as far as how I was wanting to be there for somebody and I couldn't in the physical. In order for you to see how this energy travels and transmits, and how just holding the idea and that intention and that thought of I'm helping that person, whatever way it can get to them, will do it, all right? So in this case, it was a good friend of mine who had gone to check out a motorcycle, and he was in the process of looking around and purchasing one, and I said, well, I'll go with you, and that way, well, I can get a feel for it and see what the motorcycle was. It wasn't brand new. We wanted to make sure what, the people selling it were telling the truth and such. And that's where I get called in. And you do too, probably, if you're seeing this. So we went, and I sat back at the garage with the seller and at his home, and this friend of mine went off on the bike. About 5-10 minutes in, I had this distinct impression, oh my gosh, he's in danger, like something just happened. This isn't good. So instead of getting riveted in that sense of, worry, like, oh my gosh, what just happened? Or that state of that feeling in the gut of like, oh, I can just tell something awful just happened or whatever. Instead, take your energy and your focus directly as fast as you can to may the help arrive that he needs. May she be able to have somebody come and assist her and attend to her right now, because here's the thing. A lot of times those that we love are in situations and we would consider them, say, emergency or a state of toxicity or like trauma or panic or sadness, depression, all of these things. And we feel kind of like our hands are tied. Like, how do I help that person? Because they know me and they're feeling maybe judgment, or that I don't get it, I'm not understanding, I don't have any empathy or compassion or etc. because of how they view us, right? So often it can be very helpful to ask for the assistance to come in from others with whom they won't feel those filters of you're just saying this because you are judging me, or you're thinking that you know better, or you're better than me, or whatever the case may be. And so those types of situations can be very helpful, because you can actually ask for other help to come in that they can open themselves up to trust right away, to be able to receive the assistance, to be able to receive it 100% rather than just like 10 and then give up on it, as people often do who are connected to each other, because it's coming out of a state of all of the perceptions that are behind, well, they're just saying this because they whatever, they're jealous of me, they can't stand me, I'm the worst child in the world, or whatever the case might be. So in this case, when I sent right away, like, oh, let there be some assistance there for this gentleman. And so all of a sudden the phone rings, and the owner says, what's up? And he said, the bike just locked up on me and threw me. And it literally, there were some things that were not correct in the bike. And so when it locked up like that, it had nothing to do with the brakes. It was more about a catalytic converter and some other things. And so he actually toppled off the bike, and he was on a country road. There was no help available. I mean, nobody was driving by or anything. But it was at a very dangerous area that was connected, sort of like a frontage road connected to a highway. So anything could have happened with people turning off and on and all that. So all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he said, because he never heard the truck pull up. There was never any truck pulling up, but there was suddenly a truck there. And he didn't hit his head or anything. He wasn't out of his consciousness. He said it was like, bing, like poof, and there was a truck there, and a gentleman got out. And I said, was this gentleman dressed a little funky for our time? And he said, yeah, he was wearing these odd, like, it was almost like 1930s mechanic clothes. And I said, what happened? He said he just walked over and said, can I help you with this? And the guy literally went down and lifted up the bike right off of him, just using his arms. And I said, was he a big guy? He said, no. And this bike weighed a lot. And he said, okay, you'll be fine now. I'm gonna go. And so we went and got the bike back and all that. But he said, there's no possible way that that was actually human in form, because of what he was dressed in, how he acted, the speech that he used was very different, other timely, and etc. And he came out of nowhere, like the truck never pulled up, it was just there. So these are the kind of assistants that pop in when we ask for them. And in this case, sometimes they call them walk-ins. There's a variety of names for people who come in and out of the quantum and take form and then help. And sometimes they'll switch with somebody here in form. They'll ask, hey, do you mind if I pop in and help this person? And people will switch in and out of form that way. And we're just not as finite as we think we are. So, and this gentleman, he said it was uncanny how he just lifted that bike up like it was a feather. And I mean, didn't use his legs, didn't back into the bike like he normally would to lift a bike up. He just popped it up and got it off of this friend of mine, and off he went. And he was gone just like that. He said he didn't drive away either. He was just like, poof, gone. So these are the kinds of things when you are able to remember to ask for extra assistance, especially in those times where you're feeling things are a little emergency'd up right now. Say, oh, let you know, whoever needs to show up on the scene to assist, let that happen. This particularly works very well for people who have children in service. You name it, situations where you're feeling tenuous about somebody's life, like they're feeling like they might not want to stay in form, you know, sending in the assistance, asking for assistance to attend, to let that loved one know that they are mattering here, that they do make a difference, and they just need to reconnect to their sense of self all the way, and that they'll see the huge light they are for the planet, and etc. So you can just work with it that way and send out those intentions. Because again, because of the way family strife can happen and people that get really close and there can be dissension or a sense of, you don't get me, how could you possibly think you're going to help me? So then there's that filter on it right away. So if instead, if you take your intention and send it out there that maybe those beloveds have somebody pop in out of nowhere at their job, or they get, you know, a new friend while they're at the gym, or whatever it is, but they have assistance and they're being able to be attended to the way they desire to be attended to, rather than us looking in and saying they need this and they need that. We don't know. We don't necessarily have access to all the areas that you can actually get the energy to arrive in a very unfiltered way without any resistance coming at it from the other side. So that's the biggest way we can love, is to do it without thinking we know how to do it, or how somebody else needs to receive something or have help, and instead just intend that wherever they're standing, whatever they're facing, that they are receiving the assistance that they need in the way that they can receive it most openly and most all the way on, in order to heal or transform or have a different life or feel better or want to stay here, for example. So give it a go. This is Jeannie out of Colorado. Take a walk with your angels and joyflames.com. Keep the questions coming and we'll just keep covering them. All right? Love you.